Hi, I'm Dr. Viral Parekh once again from Calcutta Academy of Radiology, presenting here with the fifth case of the week series. Here is a 29 years old female patient who is a follow-up patient of idiopathic intracranial hypertension. She had undergone thicoperitoneal shunt in 2016. She is now complaining of intermittent headaches. An MRI of brain was done in August 2020. Here are T1 weighted images. Here are T2 weighted axial images. Here are FLAIR images. Here are T1 weighted sagittal images. Here are T2 weighted sagittal images. Here are T1 weighted contrast enhanced images. Here are key images. The image on the left is showing marked dilatation of the dural venous sinuses. The image on right is also showing dilatation of dural venous sinuses, and there is slight thickening of the pachymeninges, which is showing slight enhancement in the post-contrast study. In this image, we can see that there is tonsillar herniation, as we can see here. In this image, we can see that basal cisterns are shrunken. There are some quantitative signs associated with this condition. One of them is mammaropontine distance. That means the distance between the mammillary body and the pons. This distance should be normally more than 5.5 millimeter. The image on the left is that of a normal person, which is showing the normal mammaropontine distance, whereas the image on the right is that of the patient whom we are discussing now. In this images, we can see that distance is markedly diminished. Another sign is pontomesencephalic angle. In a normal person, that angle should be around 65 degrees, give or take 10 degrees. A value less than 50 degree is suggestive of intracranial hypotension. What we can see in this normal person, that this angle, that this pontomesencephalic angle is within normal limits, whereas in our patient this angle is markedly diminished. As we can see, there is marked reduction in the pontomesencephalic angle. Another quantitative sign is interpeduncular angle. That means the angle between the two cerebral peduncles. This angle is measured just below the level of mammillary bodies, and normally this angle is more than 40.5 degrees. In patients with intracranial hypotension, as we can see in this patient, this angle is markedly diminished. Yet another quantitative sign is lateral ventricular angle, which is defined as an angle between the medial margins of the right and the left lateral ventricle. The angle so formed is called the lateral ventricular angle, and it is measured on the coronal images at the level of fornices, third ventricle, and pituitary infundibulum. The mean value in patients with intracranial hypotension is around 130 degrees. Here are the images of another patient. Here we can see that there is marked enhancement of the pachymeninges and there are bilateral subdural effusions. In this image, we can see that there is sagging of the splenium of corpus callosum. So to summarize the MRI findings, there is mild pachymeningeal enhancement, there is increased venous blood volume with venous distension sign, there is reduced CSF volume, there is sagging of brainstem with acquired tonsillar ectopia, the mammato-pontine distance is reduced, the pontomesencephalic angle is also reduced, the interpendicular angle is also reduced. So the final diagnosis is secondary intracranial hypotension. Why secondary? Because this is secondary to a surgery which in our case is thicoperitoneal shunt. And to memorize the radiological findings, there is a mnemonic. The mnemonic goes by the name of SEEPS. That means S stands for subdural fluid collection, the E stands for enhancement of the pachymeninges, another E stands for engorgement of the venous sinuses, the P stands for pituitary hyperemia, and S stands for sagging brain. So that is all for today. Thanks a lot for your kind attention. See you next week. Till then, take care and stay safe.